Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Grizzly Beer Reviews. Today I'm drinking Founders Cerise. It's their latest seasonal that just came out a few weeks ago, and it's a cherry ale. I've actually had one already a few weeks ago, and it's super good. It's probably the best cherry beer I've ever had. I haven't ventured too much into fruit beers yet, lambics and stuff like that. Like I haven't tried too much, so I don't have a lot to compare to. But I have had a few different cherry things. I've had, like, you know, Samuel Smith's cherry ale and things like that. But this is by far the best that I've had. So I'm going to go ahead and crack it open. Okay. So it pours like a, almost like an orangey, strawberry blonde kind of color. Sorry about that, guys. It's getting a little noisy outside. We recently had a really bad storm come through, and our neighbors actually had a tree fall on their house, so they're out there trying to cut that up, and I didn't realize it until I already started the review. So we moved things inside, which is better anyways because it's more air conditioned. It's just I don't have much space in here to do a review. But anyways, back to the beer. You know, now that it's been out for a couple more minutes and breathing, I do smell more tartness in the nose. That wasn't there before. It's kind of covering up the biscuity, malty kind of smell that was there. Still there, it's just a little more tart. So I'm going to go ahead and taste it. It's so good. I really like this beer a lot. The reason I like this one a little more than other cherry beers is that it just tastes really real, really natural. Like you're just biting into a cherry. Pop a cherry in your mouth and you chew on it and then you suck on the pit. You get all the meat off there and it tastes so good. It just tastes really real to me. For those of you that aren't really familiar with Founders, they're from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And that's probably a good reason why this thing tastes so good, being a cherry beer, because some of the best cherries are grown in Michigan. I have a lot of family up there, and whenever we went and visited, if it was the season for cherries, we would always get a ton of them to bring home with us back to North Carolina, because they're so good. And so that's probably why that this is so awesome for a cherry beer, because they really do grow some of the best cherries up there. I watched, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hopry. If you haven't watched his beer reviews, you should watch it. I like him a lot. It's at thehopry.com. But he did one of these a few years ago, and he compared it to a cherry pie. And I don't like to steal somebody else's words, but it does taste a lot like a cherry pie, like a nice tart cherry pie. Because with the malts, the biscuity malts, it kind of adds like a crusty flavor to it. And I definitely get that. The first time I tried it, I didn't really understand that too much. But then when I watched his review, I was like, that's what I was tasting. Founders is great. Founders is really one of my favorite breweries. So I was really excited to get this when it came out. Something new that I hadn't tried yet. And they just do everything really well. So once again, not let down by them. And it sits in your mouth in a nice way. Like the tartness from the cherry just sits on the back of your tongue, the middle of your tongue, just for a long time. This is kind of the beer you can just keep tasting for a while afterwards, and it's nice. Just not in a gross way. It doesn't have a bad mouthfeel at all. It just goes right down your throat, but leaves you with a nice reminder of how good it actually tasted. That's another reason why I really love this beer. I also, like I said, I don't know a lot about fruit beers, but this seems like a good one to start out with, you know? It's not too crazy, it's not too powerful, it's just mellow and delicious and just really good and satisfying. So if you haven't ventured into fruit beers and you are able to get this might be a good way to get into them. But that's all I got to really say about it. I just want to keep drinking it. So, Founders Cerise. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's really delicious. I'm going to really enjoy finishing this one off. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Grizzly Beer Reviews. Keep checking back at the blog for new reviews and new updates. This has been a great beer.